Hello, my name is Chris Bienert with Winnebago Product Management. Earlier this year, we introduced the all-new Revel with enhanced capabilities and power systems and cabinetry. Today, we're introducing the new Revel Sport that allows customers to get into a Revel at a different lower price point. Both vans are part of the Backcountry series of vans and RVs from Winnebago. The Backcountry offers enhanced off-road capability and off-grid capability. But as you look between these two Revels, it's very important to understand the differences between the two. So let's break it down. We'll start with the exterior design and dimensions. So for exterior colors between the Revel and the Revel Sport, they will be the same. The colors this year, we are retaining the selenite gray, beautiful metallic color, but we're replacing blue gray and pebble gray with the new silver gray and stone gray. On the Revel Sport, we'll have a Raptor Guard option that will add the protective black Raptor Guard coating to the hood, the underbody area, and then through the window and pod area. That same graphic pattern will be available on the regular Revel. On exterior accessories with the Sport has, of course, the traditional Revel running board, which features the embossed Winnebago logo on a rubber surface on the top for extra traction, the pet tie-down in the front of the running board, and the undercoach lighting below the running board. The Revel Sport has an option now for a rack-mounted awning. The roof rack on the Revel Sport is designed with aluminum extrusion using steel hardware to connect the extrusions together. They're slotted so that the whole rack is modular. You can accommodate your accessories. The Revel Sport features a removable ladder stored on the rear door that can be moved to any point along the driver's side of the van to access the roof. You're simply hooking it on the roof rack. On the Revel, we add an additional exterior graphics package made with Raptor Guard that adds a mountain motif to the side of the van. So Revel features an entirely new set of running boards. They're welded tubular design with the Revel logo and undercoach lighting, just like the Revel Sport, and also like the Revel Sport, they incorporate a design at the end to secure a leash to keep your pet in camp there. Now these running boards are just a little bit wider than what we have on the Revel Sport, about 2 inches. A little bit nicer place to place a hiking boot or a ski boot on the way in and out, but they do make the van 4 inches wider overall, 7 feet 5 inches versus 7 feet 1. The roof rack on the Revel, the base rack is very similar to the Revel Sport, but the Revel adds the side plates with slots for additional modularity and places to strap down gear. And it includes a new front fairing. It's a different design, more aggressive, and includes 2 LED lights up there, totaling 22,000 lumens of power. Revel features a new high-quality welded aluminum fixed mount ladder on the rear door. Well, both the Revel and Revel Sport come standard with Mercedes steel wheel. We have a very popular option for both, and that's Winnebago's new wheel and tire package. We've taken the wheels and added a 12mm offset to each one to make the van a little more stable and give it a nicer stance. The wheels are Revel branded and are sold exclusively with a BF Goodrich all-terrain tire. So a true adventure van needs a well thought out interior to maximize comfort on the trail. Let's step inside both and see how each van maximizes comfort and livability. So now that we're inside the Revel Sport, let's level set on what a Revel is. At the very core, at the very beginning of its DNA, is a Revel is a gear hauling adventure van. So as we design the Revels, they're designed for durability, cleanability, but also with their signature space in the back for hauling your gear. Whatever your hobbies are, whether it's mountain biking or kayaking, the Revel can handle it. So here we are inside the lounge of the Revel Sport. Let's take a look at some of the materials used to construct the Sport, like all Revels, and some of the background as to why we selected the materials we did. To begin with, whether it's the table, cabinet doors, or the walls of the cabinets, everything is covered with a countertop grade laminate. We do that so that for durability, and also so that all the surfaces in the Revel are easy to clean. The dinette table is attached to the floor using a pedestal system. Reasons and advantages here is it's one of the most stable systems for mounting a table that we found. It's adjustable and it's also removable to get it out of the way. Let's talk just a little bit about storage and some of the things that Winnebago has done in the Revel for storage. To start with, we have an aluminum shelf here over the cab, creating a large amount of go-to storage space for your jackets, clothes, and everything that's easily accessible right inside the door of the van. Now let's take a look at the Winnebago overhead here in the Revel Sport. We use a positive latching on the cabinets. When we say positive latching, what we mean is that when you close it, there's a click, it's locked, and this door won't open unless you release the latch, which we feel is very important for an adventure van that's going to go off-road or into rough conditions. Let's take a little bit closer look at this overhead. It's not the traditional construction. This is all a folded aluminum structure here, front, side, bottom, and the face. It's the strongest possible cabinet we could build. The storage continues down below your feet. Here we can see we've got a latched hatch down here in the floor. Some folks like to refer to that as their wine cellar. And we have additional storage here underneath the dinette seat. In addition to its rugged construction, the dinette overhead houses a place here for routers, wine guard, whatever system you're using, Wi-Fi boosters. It has an opening here in the roof. It gives you a path to route wires up there for whatever antenna you need. We also provide 120, USB, and 12-volt power in that area. So let's take a look at the Revel Sport's dinette. Now we've removed the table, which is very easy to do, just pull a pedestal out, just to make it a little bit easier to see what we have going on here. So there's built-in seating for 2 people here. The inboard person has a lap belt, where the outboard has a 3-point seat belt. There's more to this dinette though. The cushions and the material are made of ultra leather. So again, that's going to be very easy to clean in your dusty or muddy conditions. So now let's move to the back of the van. And let's start with one of the key features of the Revel Sport, or any Revel, and that's the powered lift bed. It's operated right here. Turn the key and lower the bed. All right, so you can see here with the bed in the down position, we have a very comfortable sleeping space here. The flares, the signature flares on the side of the Revel Sport provide a maximum of 78 inches of sleeping space in the back of the coach. We have a window to allow some ventilation, and of course lights for reading. We provide USB, 12-volt, and a 120-volt outlet back in the bed space for recharging phones or other items. All right, so this has been the Revel Sport. Now let's go take a look at the interior of the Revel. So here we are in the lounge area of the Revel. Now you'll find a few differences here between the Revel and the Revel Sport, and let's just talk through those. I will begin with the table. Where the Revel Sport used the pedestal style table, the Revel uses a more adjustable lagging style mount. It gives you more flexibility in how you position the table. Storage-wise, there's some similarities and some differences. First, our cab over shelf is the same between the 2 coaches. Same usability for storing large items in an easily accessed space. The Revel retains the folded aluminum overhead cabinetry, but in our doors and our latching, things get a little bit different. So where the Revel Sport used the positive latch to retain your cargo, this Revel goes to the next level with a compression style latch. Twist the latch, you see the red on the side here that shows that the latch is open. So why is the compression latch an upgrade from the positive latch? Well, you can see when we operate the compression latch, as I turn the knob, the pawl comes over and then actually draws in and sucks the door closed. And we do that to make sure that there is no chance of the door rattling as you're going down washboards or other rough roads. The finishes in the Revel, although they look different and look very rich, do retain one aspect from the Revel Sport, in that every surface is a laminate like a countertop, so that this coach will be just as cleanable as the Revel Sport. Contrasting the Revel to the Revel Sport, the Revel Sport has maritime gray cabinetry. The Revel has three choices. The first interior is Stealth, which is a nice gray similar to the maritime gray in the Revel Sport. The second is Solstice, which is similar but has yellow on the cabinet doors. And your third choice is what I'm sitting in here, and that's Overlander. The Overlander interior also gives you access to an interior upgrade package. So what's included in that? Well, the first thing is a fabric cover to go over the cassette blinds. You'll notice that all Revels now, except the Sport, have a cover over the cassette blind here. But the fabric cover, you see, is reflective on one side. It's very thick. It simply magnets over the cassette and unzips. So this provides the Revel with yet another layer of insulation in the window area. A new feature on Revel, and a big difference between Revel and Revel Sport, is in the dinette seat. You have ultra leather material, but the Revel has two sets of 3-point seat belts instead of one 3-point and a lap belt, and it's a 2-part seat, and each part is adjustable. So we can slide the seat forward, we can adjust the seat back, and also for more elbow room going down the road, you can slide the inboard seat away from the outboard seat. So just like the Revel Sport, the Revel has in its front overhead has a roof access port for antenna wires, USB, 12 volt and 120 volt outlets. Now, one difference here between Revel and Revel Sport is that the Revel has USB type A and type C outlets, whereas the Sport has just type A. Revel's new bedroom area still sleeps 78 inches across, but we've added some wonderful new updates. First, you'll see a couple of storage nets up there, and then you can see we've got a new curtain that unrolls and isolates the bed space from the forward part of the coach. So what that is going to let you do is have really block out light. So if you're sleeping, want to sleep in when the sun comes up, you can have your nice dark private space back here, but also the air conditioner is back here above the bed. So as you're running the air conditioner, if you close this whole space off, running your air conditioner at night, you can extend your battery life significantly. Our mattress is also new. So compared to Revel Sport, the new mattress is thicker, and it's a 2-layer mattress. So you've got softer foam on top, firmer foam on the bottom. But we designed it to be reversible. So if you like a firmer sleep, you can flip the mattress over or flip it back for the softer bed. Again, referencing that interior upgrade package and the window coverings. The coverings also include these back here over the rear doors, as well as a cover over the bedroom window. After a hard day of adventuring, nothing beats a well-equipped galley and bathroom. Let's head back over to the Revel Sport, and we'll see how they compare and cater to your off-grid needs. All right, back at the Revel Sport, in the galley area, we've rolled up the fly screen so you can see everything a little bit better here. Now, the first thing about cooking in any adventure van is that you typically cook outside the adventure van. So the Revel Sport, we have a nice spacious fold-down table using a stainless steel cable to support it, and it's adjustable because you're not always parking someplace level, but this lets you level the table for cooking. The actual cooking out here and in the Revel Sport is done with an induction cooktop that we provide. So you can use it out here We have outlets up here that are rated for the induction cooktop. So the refrigerator for keeping all your food fresh is on the forward side of the galley and opens 180 degrees. Now the reason we locate it there is on the Revel Sport is so that you can access it from inside the van or outside the van, which makes cooking easy, but also when you're loading the refrigerator, say you've just stopped at a grocery store, you can stand here on the ground and load it at a comfortable height. This is also a good place to highlight the galley countertop extension. So we got a couple openings on the front of the galley that allow that extension to slide in. And it's thin, but very solid. And this extension, like we showed earlier, is stored in the dinette seat. So there's a lot more to the galley. Let's go on inside and have a look. Okay, the Revel Sport galley includes dovetailed hardwood drawers throughout the galley. Decent amount of storage here. This drawer was even designed to be large enough to fit a wastebasket down there, although a lot of folks like to use it for pots and pans. Additional storage, of course, is in the overhead cabinet. Revel Sport has a nice pantry here with 2 adjustable shelves. And then up here we have, of course, our galley faucet, which is nice and high for filling pots and pans. We have a stainless steel sink, and then of course the spice rack, which is actually laser cut folded steel, not aluminum, so your magnets and things will stick to it, which is really convenient. Now, let's move over to the bathroom. So the bathroom in the Revel Sport was really designed as a multi-use space. So when you think about a van, of course, the size, the limited space, and how much time do you actually spend in your bathroom versus how much space it takes up in your floor plan, it's really important for it to serve 2 purposes. So to begin, we've got a bifold door. Get that out of the way. And here you can see how we've got 2 large shelves and a removable clothes rod. It's really a storage closet, but it's not just any storage closet because, of course, within a wet bath space, you can store your wet gear there. So think skiing, wetsuits from surfing or swimming at the beach. You've got a place where your wet stuff can drain down into the gray tank. But if you need it for a shower or a bath, or to use it just as a regular bathroom, the shelves, which are all made of bamboo, easily lift out. And now you've got a fully functional wet bath. The shower has a removable shower head, easily plugs in. You've got a holder for the shower head. And the shower head has a convenient on and off valve that lets you control the amount of water you use while you're taking a shower. Toilet swivels so you can get it out of the way when you're standing there showering. And we also have 2 waterproof compartments here, one for the toilet paper and a second one for soaps or spare toilet paper. When you do take a shower, we provide a curtain with snaps that hangs up across here to keep the water on the shower side. So I've talked about the shower, but if you want to take a shower, you're going to need hot water. That means heat, and you're going to need water. So let's talk about them. So Revel Sport uses a diesel-fired hydronic heating system. It's very important in an adventure van to use a single source of fuel if you can, because that prevents you from having to seek out LP while you're out on the road, which could be hard to find in some more remote areas. The control system for this heating system is right here above the dinette seat. It's a simple touch panel where you can turn the system on, tell it you want hot water, and then hit your plus and minus keys there to set the temperature for the inside of the coach. Along with a world-class heating system, you really need world-class insulation throughout the van. So something new we're doing that we did in Revel and also now in Revel Sport is we're insulating the coach using 3M Thinsulate insulation. So we're filling the voids, we're adding an extra layer inside with a foil to create a complete vapor barrier to the outside of the van. The flooring used throughout the Revel Sport is a polyethylene honeycomb design. With the flooring, it's easy to clean and it's impervious to moisture, so it won't warp, delaminate, or suffer any of those other things that could happen to a wood or plywood type floor. Now let's go take a look at the Revel. So the Galley in the Revel is similar to the Revel Sport, but does have some key differences. Start with some of the similarities. Revel still has an outside table. In this case, it's now held with a strap, so that naturally falls into place. So it makes raising and lowering the table just a little bit easier. And we use a magnetic system to hold the door closed. Refrigerator is really the same refrigerator, same location, same advantages of being accessible inside and outside. Now we're getting to some of the differences is in where the induction cooktop is stored. And in this case, we have a drawer that slides forward on the Galley. So undo the compression latch, pull it out, you can see we've got sort of a bamboo cutting board that covers the drawer. This can be used either as a cutting board or as an extension to the Galley. But then this drawer is where the induction cooktop is stored. For the Revel, the outlet down here near the stepwell is rated for usage with the induction cooktop outside. So the Galley in the Revel is a little bit different than the Revel Sport here in that the Revel does not have the pantry, which the Sport has. What you do gain in place of the pantry is a longer countertop for more food prep space and a longer overhead, so you gain back part of that storage up here. The drawers in the Revel, again, they have the compression latches, but where the Revel Sport had the wood drawer boxes with the dovetailing, the Revel has a metal-sided system drawer with a soft close, and again, that compression style latch to keep things quiet while you're going down a rough road. Another difference between the two is in the Galley faucet, where the Revel Sport just had a simple faucet. The Revel has the pull-out sprayer. Okay, the bathroom in the Revel is very similar to that in the Revel Sport, but with a few differences. To begin with, the doors are side hinged, French style, instead of being a bifold style door. We've added a mirror on the inside of the rear door, and we have one shelf instead of two. Another feature on the forward door is this privacy shield. So when that forward door is open and the privacy shield is deployed, with the sliding door closed, what it does is it provides a level of privacy from anyone outside looking through the front of the van to seeing inside. And it's a very quick, easy way to get that privacy versus taking the time to set up the cab shades. The heating system in Revel is similar to that in the Revel Sport in that they're both hydronic systems and they're both diesel fired. But with Revel, the system is a little more sophisticated. It has multiple heating zones, so you can control the heat in the forward part of the van separately from the heat back in the sleeping area. It has an additional loop of glycol that's used to help keep the water system flowing in cold weather. It comes in underneath the Galley and by the drains here by the sliding door, which is a notoriously cold area in any adventure van. And the loop also goes past the fresh water tank to the rear of the coach near where the water fill is. That loop is on an automatic thermostat, so as long as the heating system is on, it'll be active and kick in at 42 degrees. Revel uses the same upgraded insulation, the 3M Thinsulate, as Revel Sport. Performance and drivability are crucial for keeping you moving smoothly in rugged terrain, and both vans are very capable. So let's go take a look. Whether you choose Revel or Revel Sport, you'll be getting the same spec of Mercedes Sprinter chassis. We build on the 144-inch wheelbase 2500 all-wheel drive chassis. The all-wheel drive system is highly capable in both on-road and off-road situations. It's powered by an inline 4-cylinder multi-stage turbo diesel engine, putting out 211 horsepower or 332 pound-feet of torque. In terms of safety features and driver assist features, the chassis is well equipped. It features an adaptive cruise control system, lane keeping assist, blind spot assist. The 10-inch MBUX system includes a full navigation system and a wonderful 360-degree camera system that'll allow you to see objects all the way around the van when you're maneuvering in tight spaces. It's very useful whether you're in a crowded parking lot or a dense forest maneuvering into your campsite. As we transition into the 2024 chassis, we're picking up a couple of new features. The first would be heated seats for the driver and passenger side. And the second is one of my favorite features, and that's a digital rear view mirror. It allows you to see behind the van as if the whole camper van was not there and you can just see the road. Makes for a much more pleasant driving experience. If you're gonna go explore the backcountry, gear storage is paramount. So let's go take a look at the gear garages on these two vans. So as you can see, whether you choose Revel or Revel Sport, both vans remain true to their design intent of being a gear hauling adventure van. There's a lot of differences between space and capability. So let's start over with the Revel Sport and we'll have a look. The Sport is all about gear storage back here. As you can see, we've got a nice spacious floor, measures 46 inches by 56 inches on space for whether it's bikes, packs, whatever your hobby requires. We've got D-rings here tied into the floor that go down into the chassis to help secure your cargo in place. You notice our storage cubby right over there. And then we've got some bungee pockets for your smaller gear items. And up above, you can see our storage net for coats, hoses, whatever you want up there. Forward on the bottom side of the bed, we've got that soft-sided storage bag there. It's great for items like your first aid kit. So here in the Revel, you can see we also have an abundant amount of storage. In this case, it measures 37 inches by 56 inches, but has a much larger storage cubby right here. Now, when we talk about the electrical, we'll talk about a second battery you can order that makes this a little bit smaller, but in this case, you can see that it's maximum depth. Just like the Revel Sport, we have the net and the soft storage bag on the underside of the bed. Down below for your cargo, instead in place of the D-rings on the Sport, we have a system of L-tracks. They're a little bit more adjustable for tying down your cargo. Going off-grid means you're going to need water and power. So let's go ahead and compare these two rigs and their capacities. So going off-grid means being prepared. So let's compare the tank capacities and electrical systems between the Sport and the Revel. Here in the Sport, the freshwater tank is over here under this panel. It measures 24 gallons and is filled right back here. We also have an exterior shower and controls that allows you to winterize the system all from one location here in the back of the van. Complementing the 24-gallon freshwater tank is a 21-gallon gray water tank housed underneath the van on the driver's side. On the electrical side of the van, you can remove this panel and see the heart of the system. To begin with, we've got a Lithionics 320 amp hour 12-volt battery. So the Revel Sport, and there's an important difference, is a 12-volt lithium system and uses a 2,000-watt Xantrex inverter. In addition to charging from the second alternator, this battery is also charged through 215 watts of solar panels located on the roof or through shore power through the Xantrex inverter charger. The Lithionics battery in the Sport is managed through the Lithionics battery app. So you can see the state of charge plus the current in and out all here on the app. Another nice thing about the Lithionics battery is that it includes built-in heaters, so when the battery is too cold to charge, it uses its own power to warm itself back up. So now, let's go over to the Revel and see how it compares. So Revel is designed a little bit differently than Revel Sport in the design of the rear storage compartment area and water system and electrical. Focusing on the water over here first, I'm going to remove this last thumb screw. And this is something to note in the way that Revel has been designed. We use thumb screws over different panels in order to provide access for serviceability of critical components. So you can see in here where we have the water pump and everything and easy to get to. Part of where the storage went in the space between the two vans is in the water tank, where the Revel Sport has 24 gallons of fresh water. The Revel is carrying 35, so it's a significant increase. And as I mentioned before, with this orange line here, you can see that's that glycol line running back into this area to protect your water tank in cold conditions. Revel uses a similar panel to Revel Sport for the water system in the same area, but you can see it is a little bit different, simplified design. Another difference between Revel and Revel Sport is that Revel has what in the RV industry is referred to as a gravity fill. Now what that is up here in the corner, there's a bung on the top of the fresh water tank that you can open so that you can add water directly into the tank instead of going through the power fill system on the back. Now let's move over and talk about the electrical side. So again, I have removed that storage compartment so you can see a little bit more of what's happening inside here. Now, a fundamental difference between Revel and Revel Sport is that where Sport is a 12-volt electrical system, Revel is a 48 volt system. We still use the Lithionics batteries. In this case, the coach comes with the standard 8.4 kilowatt hour battery. For comparison, Revel Sport had about 4 kilowatt hours when you convert the amp hours to kilowatt hours. We also have an option over here on Revel for a second battery. That brings the total capacity of the system up above 16 kilowatt hours. Managing this system is an EcoFlow Power Hub Pro. So the system with the Power Hub, it takes multiple components, DC to DC converters, solar charge controllers, and inverters, and it combines them all into one unit, one controlled unit. And they're all managed through one interface forward in the coach. The way the system charges is first through solar. You can also plug into shore power, in which case this Power Hub is going to put 3,000 watts into the batteries. Now, the real magic happens from the alternators. And I said alternators, not just one, because we're pulling power from the OEM alternator. So if you're driving very slowly, the coach is at or near idle, we'll still get some charge. But then as you increase speed, our second alternator kicks in, and you'll see numbers as high as 8,000 watts pouring into these batteries. Now, let's put that in perspective. That means that if you have the single battery system, which is twice the capacity of the Revel Sport, you're going to charge it in about 1 hour of driving. Even if, and that's if you completely depleted it. Even if you have the two batteries, that's still only about 2 hours of driving to a full charge. Management of Revel's power system can be done either through the Lithionics app or here inside on the EcoFlow control panel. So some interesting facts about the solar system in Revel. There's 210 watts on the roof, and the panels that we use on Revel were designed a little differently than your typical RV panel. And the way they're wired, if a leaf or something were to cover one of the cells in the panel, the rest of the panel keeps working, whereas in some other panels, it greatly reduces the output of that panel unless it's completely clean. So in conclusion, budgeting for your adventure van is very important. So let's break down the options between Revel and Revel Sport and see which one meets your needs and budget the best. Both Revels are very capable adventure vans. The choice between the two is going to come up to you and your use case. Primary differences being in the exterior accessories, interior design, and the power systems.